Lowe's Halloween 2024 animatronic leaks are here. Let's take a look. For everything scary, I'm GMHaunts, and welcome to a super special video because Lowe's Halloween 2024 leaks have officially begun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the date is January 31st, 2024, and just earlier today, our very first leaked stock photos for the Lowe's Halloween 2024 lineup began making their rounds all over Haunter social media. And before we get into any of this, I should say that all of these images, full credit goes to the Halloween Decorating Fanatics Facebook page. They were the original people who posted all of the images and information that we are going to talk about in this very video. So please go give them a follow over on Facebook because full credit goes to them for all these stock photos. As of right now, we have 8 brand new animatronics coming to Lowe's for the 2024 season, and there will actually be even more to come at some point. I'm not sure when that will be, but obviously once we see those, I will be making a part 2 right away. But for right now, let's jump into part 1 of the Lowe's Halloween 2024 animatronic lineup. Alright, so we're going to start this video off the only way I know how, and that is by talking about the animatronic that is my favorite so far from the Lowe's 2024 lineup. And of course I am talking about the new for 2024 Haunted Deep Sea Diver. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when I saw this guy for the first time early this morning, I immediately just got giddy because this guy is, in my opinion, an amazing animatronic. Obviously, this guy is depicting a nautical deep sea diver, fully dressed out with an entire deep sea diving outfit, a harpoon gun that has some seaweed on the edge of it, and then a very cool looking green illuminated skull face inside of his diving helmet. Now, I do have to say, one of the main reasons that I immediately fell in love with this animatronic is the fact that he 100% reminds me of Scooby-Doo, and specifically Captain Cutler from Scooby-Doo. I have always loved Captain Cutler. I always thought he was an amazing character, and one of the main reasons for that is because, of course, he is a lime green character, and if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know that I love my lime green characters and Halloween animatronics. So when I saw this guy, I immediately thought of Captain Cutler, and my love for lime green Halloween stuff just immediately came true with the Deep Sea Diver. Now, this guy, along with the vast majority of the Lowe's lineup so far, is being manufactured by Techie Design, which is an amazing thing. We saw Techie start to work with Lowe's a lot last year with the 2023 lineup, and it looks like that's even going to be multiplied going into 2024. So with the Deep Sea Diver being made by Techie, we can expect some pretty high quality on this animatronic, which makes me incredibly happy because I am 100% going to need to pick up this guy because I love the look of him, I love the concept, and I especially love that he has so much lime green. Now, the Haunted Sea Diver is set to be retailing for $349, $349 USD, which is obviously a lot to ask for a Lowe's animatronic. We normally see Lowe's on the lower side in terms of retail prices, and just a little bit of a spoiler, it looks like a lot of the props this year are on that higher end in terms of price tags, so that's kind of a little bit of an interesting thing to see, and I'll talk about that later on in this video as well. But nonetheless, that is the brand new for 2024 Haunted Deep Sea Diver being manufactured by Techie Design. I absolutely 1000% need to pick this guy up, and I am a huge fan of him. Now you're going to pick up on that Lowe's has an obvious nautical theme going into this 2024 season, because next up, we are going to take a look at the Captain Pirate. So like I just said, it does seem like Lowe's is doing a bunch of nautical or sea-themed animatronics for 2024, and this is not even the end of it. You got to stick around the video for a little bit longer to see the rest of them. But next up, we have the Ship Captain Pirate, and this guy, obviously, as you can see, is a brand new pirate with a big big ship wheel in front of him, which, judging from the description, we can actually see that his arms will kind of turn the wheel a little bit to look like he is steering the ship. It looks like he's going to have some yellow LED eyes, a blue light that kind of illuminates his chest, and almost his entire, like, upper body there, and then he also has a big gray beard. So we definitely cannot see as many details as we could with the deep sea diver with this Captain Pirate, just because his stock photo is very dark and the lighting is kind of more the thing that's emphasized within this stock photo. But nonetheless, it's cool to see that we're getting a new pirate this year, because that is something we really don't see that much within the retail market of Halloween animatronics. And I especially do think it's cool that we're seeing a bunch of nautical themed props for 2024 from Lowe's, because that is another thing that is not very much touched on within the crazy world of Halloween retail animatronics. So I'm glad to see that Lowe's is kind of stepping up to the plate with the nautical animatronics. Now, I don't think I'm going to be picking this guy up, just because, in my opinion, it's a little bit awkward to see a pirate with a wheel not set up on a ship. And I feel like that's the only kind of problem as of right now that I have with this guy, is that if you're going to put him on your porch, it doesn't really make sense for a pirate to have a steering pirate wheel if he's standing on a porch. Like, if you can kind of get what I'm saying there, a little bit confusing, and that's kind of the main reason why I wouldn't pick this guy up, because I don't think that he would look good in my room holding a pirate wheel and kind of turning it. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. But nonetheless, this guy will be retailing for another big price tag, $349 for this guy. And I should mention that, like I already said, he will have that turning of the wheel animation. He is also set to have some mouth movement and some head animation in there, which is all factoring into that price tag of $349. But that is still a very hefty price tag for a Lowe's animatronic. And also, another thing I should add, he is also being manufactured by Techie Design, just like the Haunted Sea Diver and just like a bunch of these other animatronics that we are going to take a look at. But nonetheless, $349 for the new for 2024 Captain Pirate. Continuing on with the nautical theme that Lowe's has for us this year, this is the brand new Kraken head with LED lights. And obviously, this is not an animatronic. This is a static prop that you are meant to put in your yard, and actually kind of like inside in the yard itself, so that it looks like this Kraken is digging out of it. That's the effect that this prop is going for, almost like he would look in an ocean coming out of the water, but instead it's going to be coming out of your yard. I will say I like the addition of LED lights on this thing. I think it'll make a big difference with the final look of it, because while it would have been cool just as its own with a matte paint job, I think the LED lights on the tentacles with those green lights on there, I think it'll definitely add a little bit to him and make the Kraken look even better. However, at the same point, this kind of goes along with the thing I was saying with the Captain Pirate. I'm not 100% sure that it makes sense for a Kraken to be digging out of your yard. Again, that's more meant to go with water, but, I mean, come on, it's Halloween. I guess we can have a little bit of fun. This guy will be retailing for $199, 200 bucks for this Kraken head. However, I think we're all going to be pretty surprised with how big this thing is, because judging from the stock photo, it's most likely one of those props that when you see it in person, it's going to be a lot bigger than you're expecting it to be. But nonetheless, that is the new for 2024 Lowe's LED Kraken. Next up is yet another nautical prop, and this one is a mouthful to say, so bear with me. This is the Haunted Living Deep Sea Siren Witch animatronic. That is a lot of alliteration and a lot of S's, but this right here is a brand new witch coming to Lowe's for 2024, and obviously even more of that sea nautical theming that we have seen so far in the lineup. I'm gonna say I don't think this prop looks bad by any means. She is being manufactured by Techie Design, as with the rest of the lineup so far. I actually do think she looks pretty darn good. I think her face looks super realistic, like a real witchy humanoid face. I love the look to it. However, at the same time, I do think she looks very, very similar to Home Depot's Lethal Lily from last year's 2023 lineup, who you can actually see, oh, where is it? Right there, there's Lethal Lily. It looks very, very similar to Lethal Lily, and I don't want to call out anyone, but Lowe's may have taken a little bit of inspiration from Lethal Lily when creating the Deep Sea Siren Witch. But nonetheless, I do like that the face looks super realistic. I like the idea of a sea witch who is coming from, like, at some point in a nautical theming. I like the concept there. I also like how there's a shell on the staff that she's holding. Again, just adds a little bit of more flair and concept to that nautical theming that we're seeing with the Deep Sea Siren Witch. She actually does have some servo motors within the neck and the mouth, which Again, very, very similar to Letha Lily over there. Also had servo motors. So, I don't know. There's definitely some interesting little inspiration going on there between these two props. The Deep Sea Siren Wish will be retailing for $348, so yet another high retail price tag for this Lowe's animatronic, which again, very interesting to see Lowe's going into those higher price points for the 2024 season. Again, I'm going to talk about this kind of in little drips and drabs throughout this video, but $348 for the Deep Sea Siren Witch, and I think she looks super realistic. Next up, we are going away from the nautical theme, and this is the 12-footer for Lowe's Halloween 2024. So I know, very, very exciting. This is the 12-foot bone collector coming to Lowe's for 2024. Now, I'm gonna say I am not super impressed by this prop, and I know a lot of people are saying the same thing. However, I'm not totally with other people. I don't think that this is total trash. I don't think this is a terrible prop. I just feel like the concept could have been a little bit more fleshed out to make him better, but obviously this is a 12-footer gravedigger, basically, is kind of the concept that Lowe's is going with, and just like the rest of the lineup so far, he's being manufactured by Techie Design. I will say, I like the giant shovel. I think that's going to be pretty cool in real life to see this giant 12-foot shovel that he's holding. I also think the face looks super realistic with a ton of detail in there, and for a 12-foot prop, I think that's very impressive to see a 12-footer that has a realistic and detailed face like the bone collector that we're seeing here. One of the only things I really don't like about this prop is the skeleton that's inside of the bag that he's holding. The proportions are way off, and it almost looks like a toy skeleton. It doesn't really fit in with the rest of the vibe that this guy is giving off of like a realistic gravedigger who is digging graves in some cemetery, but then he's holding like a toy skeleton in a bag. Like, I don't know, it just seems very, very odd. If the proportions were a little bit better on it, maybe they would look a lot more coherent with the rest of the animatronic that we're seeing here. And then finally, this guy will be retailing for $398, so just around 400 bucks USD for the 12-foot bone collector, which I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but yet another high price tag for a Lowe's Halloween 2024 animatronic. It seems like the prices are definitely on the higher end for this season, and I can't help but think but a lot of that is coming from the fact that they are using Techie Design for the vast majority of the lineup, and that's not a bad thing. I actually think that the risen price tag is actually a good thing because it means the quality is getting better. Especially because Techie is manufacturing these animatronics this year. Next up, we have an animatronic that I know is going to get people extremely excited, especially if you watched Wednesday. This is a brand new Wednesday animatronic. Now, I have to put a huge disclaimer on this. I actually did not watch Wednesday, so I don't have a ton to come from here about what I think about this animatronic, other than the photos that I've seen of Wednesday. Obviously, this is a rendition of Jenna Ortega, who played Wednesday in the new Netflix series, and from everything that I've seen about the show, this animatronic seems pretty accurate in terms of the depiction of Jenna Ortega and the outfit and everything that Wednesday has in the show. In terms of bare animatronic features and things that I can talk about, I will say the hands look a little bit plasticky on this prop. I understand that she's doing that dance that she does in the show. Again, I don't really know what the dance is. I just know that there is a dance she does in the show, and it has something to do with her hands being face down like that. But her hands look a little bit plasticky, not a ton like a human. I feel like they look a little bit too shiny, and I feel like the skin tone is off just slightly as well. But I will say I think the face on this actually looks very, very good, and it is something that we know that humanoid faces are hard to make on animatronics, and I feel like Techie Design, who also is making this Wednesday prop, just like they're making everything for Lowe's this year, I think they actually did a great job on the face, and it actually looks very reminiscent of Jenna Ortega, so I'll give my applause to Lowe's and Techie for the face of this prop. I just feel like the hands could have been made slightly better. And then she'll be retailing for $248, so just around 250 bucks for this Jenna Ortega Wednesday Addams animatronic, which, again, a kind of high price tag for this. She does stand at 5 feet tall, if you're wondering, which I believe is accurate to the show. Again, I did not see it, but I believe she's around 5 feet tall, so I feel like that is actually a pretty realistic dimension for the prop to be, but she'll be retailing for $248 for this brand new Wednesday animatronic. Next up, we have yet another Addams Family prop because this is the 4-foot Cousin It. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a ton to say about this prop. Like I said, I didn't watch Wednesday, and also I'm not a huge Addams Family guy, so this is not something that's getting me in particular super excited. This guy stands at 4 feet tall, which is pretty accurate as to how big Cousin It is, and the animation, judging from the description, will be a roaming animation, like we see on a lot of smaller animatronics, so he'll kind of just roam around the display or collection or wherever you're going to be displaying this guy, which I think the animation fits him. It kind of makes sense, especially for the character, as he just roams around your scene and wherever you're going to put him. And this guy will be retailing for $198, so just around 200 USD, which I will say, this one I think may be a bit much, because 200 bucks for a 4-footer that just is a roaming prop, that seems a little bit much to ask, especially for a Lowe's animatronic. But I don't know. I guess if you really like Addams Family, then you're going to probably have to pick this guy up, whether you enjoy the price tag or not, because you just love the Addams Family so much. And if you're getting that Wednesday prop, this guy will definitely be a good companion for her. But nonetheless, that is the 4-foot Cousin It from Addams Family. And finally, the last Lowe's Halloween 2024 animatronic stock photo that we have as of the current moment is yet another Wednesday TV related animatronic. This is the 7.5-foot Wednesday fogging Joseph Crackstone. Now, like I said, I didn't watch Wednesday, so honestly, I have no idea what this character is. I'm familiar with Wednesday, and I've seen the photos of Jenna Ortega playing Wednesday. This guy, I am not gonna lie, have never seen before, and when I saw that he was from Wednesday, I actually had to search him up, because at first I thought that he was just a unique character that Techie, his manufacturer, once again, or Lowe's was creating, and then I found out that he's from Wednesday. I had to do a bunch of research looking into how he looks, so I'm still not 100% sure who this person is from the show, but nonetheless, he's getting an animatronic at Lowe's for 2024, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I'm an aficionado of all Halloween and horror TV shows, but the fact that I don't know who this character is may not be a great thing for selling in terms of business, because I feel like I knew Wednesday, but I've never seen Wednesday the show. I don't know this guy, so not sure how well this guy will sell. I guess we'll have to see in the long run how it pans out at Lowe's, but nonetheless, this guy is standing at 7.5 feet tall, and he actually does have some fogging capability, where fog will pour out of his mouth, and then he also seems to have a staff. I think that's what it is. Again, I haven't seen the show. I'm not 100% sure. And the staff lights up a lime green color, which actually looks pretty cool. And then he has some yellow LED eyes to go along with that. Now, this guy has a massive price tag. If you didn't think the other ones were big, this Joseph Crackstone will be retailing for $448 United States dollars, which is kind of bonkers to me that a Lowe's animatronic is going to be having a price tag that high. Now, obviously, this guy is 7.5 feet tall. He's got fogging capability. He's got those LEDs in there. I also believe he's going to have a moving mouth. So he's got a lot of movement. He also has some side-to-side movement as well. So he's got a lot going on with him, but 450 bucks for this guy, I'm not so sure. That may be a little bit too much to ask as well. But nonetheless, that is the new for 2024 Techie/Lowe's 7.5-foot Joseph Crackstone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. All of the Lowe's Halloween 2024 stock photos that we have as of the current moment. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we do know that there are more animatronics in the Lowe's lineup. We're just not 100% sure when we're going to get those photos, because of course, this is leak business. There's no rules and there's no official dates, so we kind of just have to wait and see until an employee, most likely the same employee, shares the rest of the photos of the animatronics with us. And as soon as that does happen, you can expect a part 2 right here on the GMHaunts YouTube channel. But other than that, all I have to say is I am a massive fan of that haunted deep sea diver. He is 1000% my favorite so far from the lineup, and I repeat, I need to get my hands on the deep sea diver. But I guess, remember as always, for everything scary, I'm GMHaunts. Also goes there for more Lowe's Halloween 2024 videos. Goodbye.